I'd say my favorite animal would probably be an otter.
I would go with the fire fox, which is also known as the red panda. And they're also an endangered species,
So what the mother otter does is she ties her little baby up in seaweed so it doesn't float away from her. Isn't that crazy? What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about 3D animation.
I am passionate about Filipino youth community, military affairs, and education and health.
I am Filipino.
My ethnicity is Filipino and white.
My ethnicity is Filipino.
I am Filipino-American. My dad is Caucasian and my mom is a Filipino.
I was born in Hawaii, but I was raised in slightly California and Colorado mostly.
I was born in the Philippines, but I was raised here for over 12 years now.
I don't know where my dad was born, but he was raised all over the U.S., so he's been everywhere.
My parents were born and raised in the Philippines. I think in Manila.
My parents were born and raised in the Philippines, and they moved here when they were around 28 and 30.
I didn't really identify as being Filipino when I was growing up. I didn't really identify with any race when I was growing up. It didn't really matter to me as much. I don't think it really mattered until I got to college. Well, not mattered in that sense, but I just didn't really think about it. I was just,
My Filipino identity growing up, it didn't really mean to me as much as I thought it would have, because for 10 years nobody was there to teach me how to act like a Filipino, or manners of Filipino, or what's different here in America and there in the Philippines. So I didn't really care to think about what my history was.
Growing up, my Filipino-American identity meant to me, it was kind of just my culture and the way I was raised. I was in POSCO, which is the Filipino-American Society of Colorado, for over a decade now, and now I'm 17. So basically I've been in it for all of my life, and it was kind of just a second family. So I've always kind of it's just who I am, I guess.
Because of my Filipino identity, I would say because I was a mixed race, I didn't really identify with either, so I kind of struggled with that. People didn't know I was of Caucasian descent or I was of Filipino descent. They didn't really know what I was, so that was kind of hard to identify with.
To be Filipino-American, it's a privilege, because in the Philippines, that's hard there because we're a third world country, and a lot of people want to migrate to different countries to be workers there so they can provide for their family. So being Filipino-American, it's when you come back to the Philippines, they think of you as you're privileged and stuff because you're able to provide for your family.
The responsibilities I had to fulfill was to learn more about my culture and be culturally involved with all the events that were happening.
I went to the Philippines when I was 3, I believe. It was really cool. I wish I could have gone back now when I would be able to remember it. It's nice being in POSCO because you actually do know about your culture. I don't think it's necessarily just a Filipino-American thing to be proud of your background. I feel like everyone should be proud of who they are.
Filipino should be proud of their background so they can be remembered as someone different.
I think you should always be proud of your heritage and where you come from. But I think identity is something that always gets changed and molded over time. So